Leaders and members of various political parties in the Federation met in the Nevis House of Assembly in a special sitting to pay tribute to the late St. Kitts and Nevis Ambassador Vance Amory, who was also a former Premier of Nevis. Members of the National Cabinet and the Nevis Island Assembly, as well as the national hero, the Right Excellent Sir Kennedy A. Simmonds, were among persons making remarks during the solemn occasion.
The late Premier Amory was a stalwart champion of the Nevisian people and a statesman of St. Kitts and Nevis. He earned the trust, respect, and love of the people of Nevis and of St. Kitts. His name and legacy will live on forever. My wife and family join with me in extending heartfelt condolences to his wife, Vanita, his children, and all family members. We pray fervently that the grace and peace of God will comfort and strengthen them in this time of sadness.
Premier Amory and myself first came to the Federal Parliament, the National Assembly of the Federal Parliament, back in 1989, March, some 33 years ago. That's when we were elected, together with erstwhile friend Malcolm Gishard, the late Malcolm Gishard, and myself with Sam Conda in the National Assembly of our Parliament. We were the ones who sat on the opposition benches in the Federal Parliament in those days.
It's a great loss. It's a great loss to all of us. It's a great loss to the island. Mr. Amory has served the country as head of the school, as an outstanding cricketer, as a banker, as a civil servant, as a politician, and finally, as an ambassador. He will be well remembered by many of us. He was well loved. That is something that we could not take from him. I would say that the whole island loved him and had a respect for him, even if they were not on his side. And he had a way to reach out to those who were not on his side and try to befriend them.
Vance Amory was a true and caring leader who not only looked out for himself and his ministries, but also showed concern and support for the success of his colleagues. In closing, I want to recognize Vance Amory for the role he played in the formation of the coalition government and the efforts he made to secure our success at the polls. His commitment to making the union work must equally be acknowledged. He died serving in the interests of his country, and he dedicated his life's work to serving others. We shall all miss him, his smile, calm personality, and his tempered words.
I am a better person for having had Ambassador Vance Winkworth Amory's presence in my life. Like countless others, I am indeed honored and grateful to have known him. We should honor his passing with the same grace, class, and dignity which governed his life. May his soul rest in peace, and may flights of angels sing him to his rest.
Most of us, if we are lucky, will be known for one and maybe two things that people would say of us we did well. Somebody may well say that somebody was a good fisherman, or they were a good carpenter. But here you have a man who in so many ways excelled, and who whatever he put his hand to, as we have heard, would have done it well. As a nation, we are shaped by what and who we remember. Therefore, Mr. President, it matters today that our country remembers the life, courage, sacrifice, and legacy of Vance Winkworth Amory. He devoted much of his adult life to serving his country, his people, and the principles for which it stands. A nation, as we know, is not just a flag, an anthem, and a coat of arms, it is much more. It also embodies our beliefs, aspirations, principles, and values. Throughout his career, and indeed until his very last breath, Vance Amory understood this and exemplified it.
Marking the life and work of the late Ambassador Vance Amory, former Premier of the island of Nevis. Glen Bart reporting for SK Newsline.